Hi guys, and welcome to a very exciting video. I'm calling this a very exciting video because this is the very first time we have the Bajaj Pulsar with us in its 2024 avatar. This is the NS series, but it is a 400cc Pulsar. This is something for me, or my generation of automotive enthusiasts and journalists have been waiting for more than 15 years plus, because back in the day when the Pulsar was so exciting and all about performance, we thought that why isn't Bajaj doing a 300 or a 400 or something like that. We used to think about this in 2006, 2007, 2008, but that day has finally come. And for some of you young enthusiasts, the wait has been for, let's say, 5 to 7 years as well. After you saw the KTMs bringing the 400s and Bajaj using the 400 platform for the Dominar, you wanted that to be the Pulsar. The Pulsar is finally here in a 400cc avatar. For us, the wait has been so much longer, but this is an actual dream come true for a lot of enthusiasts who are in their mid-30s right now and are finally able to see a 400cc Pulsar. So that is the kind of dream that is, come to life, and we are really excited to see that, if you imagine something, that can also come true. So that is the part where the NS400 has me very excited, regardless of performance, of the looks or anything else. For a lot of enthusiasts, the very first generation of automotive enthusiasts are very happy to see this motorcycle. And at the same time, it's not I'm not saying something is not great and all of that. We'll jump into the details right away right now with the new design. The NS, when it came back in 2010, it had a radical front end. It continues with a new radical front here as well, with the lightning designed LED DRLs look great. You have an LED light with projectors here. The NS tank design continues to be the same, but what you see here is a brand new look, a sort of more flush look for the bikini fairing here. The perimeter frame also lends it a very characterful NS look. One look and everybody will think it's the NS, and it is the NS. The only difference is this bikini fairing becoming more flush, and it gets this extra panel here. The seats are the same, the seat layout is the same, the side panel is the same, but the side panel is now a bolted one. It used to come with a keyhole here, and you could open the seat from a string here. All of that is gone. On this side as well, you will see the same, that it is now bolted and the key is now here. So this is the kind of small but big changes that the NS has gone through to make it look much more international, very international market friendly, and on par with its rivals, international rivals. Because let's face it, the Pulsar series, which is available in more than 3 platforms right now, really doesn't have much competition, because the kind of technology that it offers, the kind of sophisticated look, the fit finish, the build quality that you're getting with this version as well here is fantastic. Just look at the new dials, the new screen here, because I said dials because the NS platform is that old, and I'm also that old as a automotive reviewer for a long time. So this is, let me just start it for you again. It's a colored unit. It's slightly bigger. The glass area is, the display area is much bigger, and there is of course all of these telltale lights here in the blackened out part. So it's great to see that it is colored and it has whole host of information that you would ever need. So you can see the trip meter, you can switch on the Bluetooth from here. Let me just widen things up. Yes, so let's go back, double press set, and you go into the main menu where you can see vehicle info, where there is change ride mode. This is the traction control, where you can see there are 4 modes on offer. They adjust the ABS, traction control, as well as the engine performance to a certain extent. I'll come that in a bit while I'm riding. You get to see warnings here, and connectivity, of course, you've already seen our previous videos. It is available via Bluetooth, 2 trips, bike info, battery voltage, distance to empty, and service indicator is on offer. There's a lap timer. There is settings for your favorites, what you want to be displayed the very first. Quick select also offers you up and down features. These buttons can be changed, which is brilliant, which I don't think anybody really wants to do. But brightness adjust is on offer. So there is a lot on offer with the motorcycle. There is a fuel gear indicator, odo, trip meter is here. So there's a USB socket here, which is very nice. This feel, this plastic, almost feels like a home switch for the USB. So feels very nice, gives the impression of very high quality that has been used here. So the mirrors are from the Dominar. These aluminum stocks are very high quality, feel really nice, and all of this is just coming together really well. The quality and fit finish is good, but again it feels slightly aged now. It is aging well, but there is room for improvement, and that is where the NS stands. There is no real complaints, it's just that it feels a little bit older now. So despite this is a massive refresh, there is still some requirements to make it look a little bit more fresher and better. If you really dislike that particular aspect, there is of course the new Pulsars for you, but what you get here is you don't even get there, because this is the 400 after all, and you get a colored screen. Everywhere else you get a black and white screen. The engine is E20 compliant. You get this, still get this fantastic key and this fantastic looking fuel cap, which I think looks very military grade in the way it's designed and the way it looks. So kind of that cool feeling that you get is seen here. Apart from that, everything is the same, yaar. And I think there could have been a difference. We were hoping for a difference in the tail light. It's not here. And yeah, this grey color with the lime green pinstripes always looks fantastic. This is the kind of color combination that has been growing in the Indian market for a good, let's say 7-8 years, and now it just looks fantastic. This bike has been grabbing attention on the road, despite it's a familiar silhouette of the motorcycle, but with the changes that have been done, with the colors that are on offer, with the champagne gold forks that are on offer, it is grabbing quite a lot of attention than I anticipated for a decade-year-old motorcycle in terms of silhouette. The cockpit looks really nice from this end with the mirrors and the handlebar. This is still a clip-on on the NS200 and 160. It's a handlebar here, and the handlebar is always much better than the clip-on. That's a very old debate which has gotten so old that people don't even realize what it is. I will try and talk about it later on in a different video, but basically please understand, handlebars give you a lot more leverage while cornering, while riding, while taking corners and all of that. So yeah, you've got a new belly pan here, and the overall silhouette is the same. The design is pretty much the same. How is it like to ride? Let's find out. Okay guys, let's start riding the NS400. I've already started riding. I've put in almost 200 kilometers on this. And what do I think of the NS400? How does it ride? Well, to begin with, this is the Dominar engine, but something that is nobody there is something that nobody has told you till date, is the fact that this is not a triple spark unit anymore. This is a single spark unit. So there has been a big change, but at the same time it's a very small change, because nothing really seems to be very different than the Dominar over the NS400 here. The engine feel, if you really notice it, you will feel that the firing sounds a little bit different on the intake side. Okay, on the intake side it sounds a little bit different, but on the exhaust note there is a very mild difference that you can barely make out. And yeah, so that is the one small thing that I know right now I can confirm. Second thing I want to immediately talk about is the rideability of this engine. So that KTM right there, it needs a lot of gear changes. That is my bike as well. I ride a KTM Duke 390 2024 version. That still requires a good amount of gear changes over this. This can pull, let's see right now, we are in 6th gear doing 45. A bit of shake and you're from 40, you're doing 70. So as you can see, very minimum gear changes required. In 4th gear, doing 30-35 kilometers an hour, you can pick up from the word go. That is not easily seen on any of the KTMs, or even on the Dominar, where this engine sort of shares its engine from, because of the lower weight, which is almost let's say 12 to 13 kilos lighter than the Dominar. That also plays a significant role in that aspect, to make drivability easier, to make fuel efficiency much better. So all of those aspects are still there in the NS400. That lightweight has brought in a lot of change, and that's what makes the NS400 here really rideable, because I've never seen something like this in the 400cc engine from Bajaj KTM in a very long time. So this is a very good move indeed. Drivability, rideability in the city is top notch, there is no denying. At the same time, refinement in terms of vibrations, there are some vibrations throughout the rev range, but they are bare minimum. The real amount of vibrations you will see, of course, is at the top end, and that again is very negligible, because you are not going to be redlining all the time. So let's do it. So at absolute redline, I can feel the vibrations on the tank, but on the legs and on the handlebar, they are still very bare minimum. So on this particular bike, it's doing fine, no problem whatsoever. And I think that is a great move to have. Uh, the other aspect that I told you, performance, very good. 0 to 100 around 7 to 8 seconds is pretty impressive. It is considered very impressive in an international spec bike as well when it comes to 400, 500 cc. So performance numbers are also quite good. So the performance is good, the rideability is excellent, and the refinement levels are also quite good. I can not. I commuted this with this bike a lot in Mumbai city, within heat and traffic and the rains. And what I can tell you is that you know that refinement in terms of heat and everything seems to be well controlled as of now. We've not tested it in the absolute heat, in absolute bumper to bumper traffic, because that doesn't seem possible right now because of the current situation of the roads. But in the future, if it's possible, we'll let you know. Right now, our first impressions seem to be very solid in terms of refinement. This doesn't feel like it will go horribly wrong in terms of refinement. Brakes, well, they are good, but they are a bit commuterish. Again, powerful enough, but the feel isn't very sporty. It isn't very direct. So it could have been better, but there is no disappointing aspect here, that is for sure. What is slightly disappointing, not entirely, are the tires. So we are seeing here that there is the rear tire is radial, the front is not, and the tires are MRF, which are great, not excellent, because the chassis is capable of delivering a lot of performance and handling and everything. Because turn-in is quite good, very solid, very quick, and it is good fun in the corners. But the tires are a sheer letdown because of the capable chassis that is on offer. So nothing really is wrong. It's just that the expectations were a little bit higher. But all of those things also are easily considered by a possible probable customer, is because the price is the absolute game changer. Everything comes at just 1.85 lakh rupees ex showroom. Please understand, Bajaj with the Pulsar here has very silently democratized traction control, ABS modes and ride modes. You don't get that easily in a 400cc for a price that is, let's assume, around 2.3, 2.4 on road. The performance, the safety, the traction control, the modes, the very good design and chassis, very good suspension on offer. All of this doesn't come very easy, very cheap, but Bajaj has managed to do so. If you realize, there was no traction control in the KTM Duke 390 that came in 2013, which was offering a lot more in terms of engine and everything, but that also did not have traction control and riding modes. This has. That had only had a switchable ABS. This has so much more in terms of electronics. So Bajaj's commitment to safety is silent but very, very big, and something that needs to be applauded. Really good in terms of safety, no denying that aspect. This is all coming together quite well. The Pulsar still remains a motorcycle that is for everybody. At the same time, it is sporty, so it is not entirely for like a 100cc commuter guy, but you can get on the 400cc Pulsar, start riding it, and if you've had a 150 or 200cc earlier, you will be at home quite quickly than you anticipate to be. So quite comfortable, easy to live with, easy to ride around. It doesn't feel heavy, top heavy or much. It doesn't feel heavy at the handlebar. Everything is just coming together quite well, including the price. That's what I can tell you right now. I've pretty much told you everything I can, and everything that is probably meant to be said. If I end up spending more time with this, I'll tell you more about it. Right now, thank you so much for watching. Until then, goodbye.